92% of the US population has a vitamin deficiency, and it's magnesium. Half all Americans are magnesium deficient. Magnesium loss can happen for bad reasons. We don't have enough of it. It's involved in 600 different processes in our body. So if we're grinding the gears, we're using up a lot of magnesium, but something even as simple as taking too much vitamin D. See, all these vitamin Ds, if you do not take vitamin K2 in the proper amounts with it, or magnesium, you're going to deplete your magnesium level. Why? Your body requires magnesium to activate that vitamin D3. So that's just another example of how our body is using, through 600 different reactions, we get magnesium loss, okay? When it comes to magnesium, which one? Which one do I use? I like all 7. I like to have a variety of different ones because there's different energy processes. And when you're talking about 600 different interactions, different types of magnesium help with those different interactions because of the cofactor of what they're attached to. Magnesium needs a ride into your body. So it has to be attached to something. It has a vehicle to get it in. What you attach it to accesses. So if you put it on a bus, it can only go certain places. If you give it a scooter or a bike, it can go different places. If you give it a semi, it might be too tall to fit into certain places, like the blood-brain barrier. It can't squeak across, but that scooter can get across. See what I'm saying? So it's different areas of the body. So you need whatever vehicle you attach magnesium to, that's what gets it in. So that's why it's not one size fits all when it comes to magnesium getting into the system. We get a weakened stress response because of it. That creates chronic hormone release. That creates greater magnesium loss. Then we get electrolyte confusion because we're getting imbalances. That reduces energy production when we lose those electrolytes. It can lead to unnecessary cell death, which then leads to inflammation, fibrosis, and calcification. This is the simple version of what happens through the research of combing through it and breaking this down when you lose too much magnesium. That acute stress. So there's multiple studies, multiple layers breaking this down. Point being, we're deficient. Low magnesium levels make vitamin D ineffective. See what I'm saying? Right there. That's what I'm talking about. The study is referencing it. These types of things, very important little nuances of our health that are very easy to course correct. Magnesium in man, implications of health and disease, all these different studies of what the body does, importance of magnesium in clinical healthcare. This is just something we don't talk about enough, that the doctors don't talk about enough. This is such an easy nutrient to get in. Right? You can eat pumpkin seeds. You can eat chia seeds. You can eat almonds. You can eat spinach. You can eat cashews. You can eat black beans. That's what drives me nuts when people are like, Doc, I don't know about spinach. What do you think? And I'm like, when we're talking about nutrient deficient, 90% of our population, 92% deficient in minerals, I'm like, get some mineral-based foods in. I'm not too worried about it. I'm not saying eat bowls and bowls of this stuff. I'm just saying let's get a little more nutrient in by eating real food. Pumpkin seeds are so easy. Chia seed, I have literally chia seed pudding in my fridge right now. It's my dessert. So you could get these in. Handful of cashews. It's going to get you a dose. The only reason I offer the supplements is because a lot of us don't eat the foods. We choose the Snicker bar. We choose the Doritos. We don't reach for the cashews. We eat the ice cream. We don't do chia seed pudding. We're humans. We have elephant brains, okay, is one part of our brain that just says, feed me, sleep, lay down, tick-tock. That's that brain. Can you identify that one? That's what that one does, and it drives a lot of our emotional decisions at bad times in the day, and you're just like, you wake up the next morning, and then the rider of your brain, the rider of the elephant's like, oh, what do? We could have made progress. We could have lost some more weight. Why did you eat that entire bag? It makes you feel like a bad person. We all have that. I went down the supplement route, and I looked at all of them. There's 11 forms. Citrate is mood, digestion, absorption. Okay. Magnesium oxide is headaches and blood pressure. This is what it's most good for. Remember? Okay. Go back to the analogy. Bus, scooter, taxi, airplane, helicopter. These are the attachments, the vehicle that can drop magnesium into your body, right? Sometimes you got to fly over. Sometimes you got to squeak in. Sometimes you need a whole bunch of it. These are delivery vehicles. When you attach it to citrate, it gets it to the digestive system and absorbs it and helps with mood. When you get it with oxide, it helps absorb headaches and blood pressure with the vessels. It's going to impact blood vessels better. The chloride, don't drink that one. I did once and tried it with a cleanse. It was one of the worst things I've ever eaten. But that's for bath soaks, okay? So you're not eating that one. Lactate, it's usually just a food additive. Malate, that's for pain reduction. Taurinate, that's for blood sugar and blood pressure. That vehicle helps there. Therinate, this is brain support, actually drives me nuts. It is a patented version. You have to use a gram of it just to put it in any kind of product, and they have a complete lockdown on it, but some people go crazy for it. Like it's the only magical one. It's touted as going across the blood-brain barrier. That's not true, because I have several research studies showing that chelated forms of magnesium cross the blood-brain barrier as well as others. It's touted as the only one that helps support the brain, but you actually have to take an entire gram of it just to get a small amount of magnesium. So I think it's overpriced, overexpensive, and that's why I went against it when I was looking at putting it in. Magnesium sulfate is the one that I did. That's the Epsom salt bath that I used as part of a cleanse once. Terrible idea. Magnesium chloride is another bath soap, okay? Magnesium glycinate supports inflammation and rest. Orotate, real high cost. It's an antioxidant and heart supporter. You don't see it very often because that vehicle right there is more like a private jet, okay? It's expensive, okay? Aspartate, that's for muscle creation, energy, and recovery. So the chelated forms absorb and cross the blood-brain barrier. Okay, those are the delivery forms. So 11 of them, 4 of them you wouldn't eat, 1 of them just super expensive. Eat the magnesium-based foods. That's your first easy step, but helping with stress. Extra magnesium, because the loss that we have breaks down and creates so much damage inside the system. However, if you know you're deficient in magnesium, if you know you're not eating enough, if you have a lot of the symptoms that are tied into the magnesium, add the extra magnesium. I think it's a really good idea. Then you'd add the extra. See how that works? You can do it.